What's up, man?
Hi, everybody. Austin, is it? Austin, McNeill. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting name.
Sounds right.
Let me see what we got here today. We have Tukr'D Out. Hi, guys. I see you're from Salisbury, small town. Probably nothing happening there.
Salisbury.
Excuse me. What?
Salisbury.
Whatever. UNC Charlotte. I mean, not as good as NC State, but whatever. You know.
You don't like Charlotte?
I'm not going to answer that. Baseball player. Boring sport. Marsha, boring sport.
Probably a douchebag.
I also see you do country music. Probably sing about fishing and beer.
No, my woman left me too.
Not surprised. Golf. Okay. I guess we'll do a podcast.
Yeah. Maybe we should go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Marsha.
Riding this old highway headed west to Tennessee. Just talked to my baby and she says she's missing me. As soon as I get home, I'll wrap you in these arms of mine. 'Cause life out on the road, no, it ain't for the weary kind.
All right, what's up, y'all? We're back with another edition of Tukr'D Out. We're back. How you doing today, Marsha? Marsha's doing good. She always gives me the thumbs up. We're here with Austin McNeill. I always do an intro. I wrote down an intro. I always try my best to make sure the intros I do are fire. So
yeah,
you can grade me, but here we go.
All right.
So I'm with Austin McNeill. He's a fantastic country artist. He's performed events that have happened at Bank of America Stadium, Bridgestone Arena. Also has performed in venues all over Charlotte. And I'm not talking about small stuff. I'm talking about stuff that is big, like the Visualite Theater, Evening Muse, way more. Also is performing Lovin Live Festival, which is going to actually be happening before this pod comes out. So it'll be coming out later. Has songs that have gotten over 100,000 on Spotify. And I don't know. You also have a freaking amazing Instagram, which I'm kind of a little jealous of. I'm not jealous. I'm envious. But, yeah, dude, welcome. Austin McNeill.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be
dude?
here, dude. Yeah.
I'm so excited to have you. I feel like, just to give background, I really was nervous to hit you up about this podcast because I DM'd you saying, like, hey, this is my deal.
Yeah.
I'm nice.
Yeah.
And you answered and was just like, dude, let's talk about this. This seems like really cool.
Sounds fun. Yeah.
So I appreciate that very much, dude. But
dude, thanks for hitting me up. It's cool that, people are doing stuff like this, like yourself, for the Charlotte music scene, man. It's important to build more rich culture here in that regard, and people like yourself carry that torch. So
thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But let's get into it a little bit. I just want to learn about you. I just want to dive into the personal stuff that you can talk about and have fun talking about. And I think the first thing that I thought of when entering this interview is just Salisbury. I was trying to relate to things that I know about Salisbury. I've ran a cross country meet there.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
I don't know much about Salisbury, honestly. So what was growing up like? I know you were in choir, but what's that city? What's that town that I should know about on a small level?
Salisbury, when you're driving down the highway, it's really just kind of a small town in between Raleigh and Charlotte, right?
It's closer to Charlotte, though.
It is closer to Charlotte. And Greensboro. Yeah, it's right in between there. And so, it's a small town. One of the things that I enjoy about it is it's very, very slow to change. So when you go back, you feel like you're going home. It feels like home, and it hadn't changed much. We just got our first Dick's Sporting Goods 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. So growing up, we would always have to drive into Concord to go into town, right? But it's cool, man. It's a slow pace, it's where I got all my roots from, man. A lot of blue collar, rural people
Wait a
out there.
minute. We're going to have photos pop up. He just referenced his own song, Ding.
Yeah.
Ding. Blue Collar Man. Come already out. That's really cool. And at that time, you started to get into music. You were in choir.
Yeah, man. I started in when I was at 5 years old at a Southern Baptist Church gospel choir, man.
Okay.
My mom was always in choir and stuff growing up, and that's when I started singing, dude.
Was this, like, country hasn't entered the life yet, or has it?
No, I mean,
Like,
it's always been there because
yes.
country music is such a big part of, kind of small town culture in general. But
That's true.
but the choir that I first started in, a Baptist choir, it's bluegrass gospel.
Oh.
So upright basses, banjos, flat pickers. And I was too young to really fully appreciate the musicality of what was going on, but
Yeah.
I'd give money to be a fly on a wall and go back and
Nice.
see how those things were going.
Well, and it sounds like you also bring that already into your music, which is really good.
I'll try to, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? I was the demo that you just put out, that was kind of, I'm guessing it was kind of just like a nonchalant thing of grown men don't cry.
Yeah.
Like, I cry.
Yeah.
Like I'm.
Well, that's the paradox of the song,
Yes.
right?
Is that so? That photo, you play football, and here's a photo of a thing of the thing, but you play football, and who was that next to you? Was that
So
the
that's
dad?
my uncle.
Your uncle. Okay.
He played a very important role, very important father figure role in my life. I've never met my biological father before.
Oh, okay.
So when I was a kid, up until 12, my uncle was really my primary father figure, and then my mom met my stepfather, and he's been my father figure, since then as well. So I'm blessed with a couple father figures in my life that played really important roles.
Dang, that's cool, man. I just to kind of relate to you, I think so a few people know, like I do not have a father anymore. I have like a stepfather in my life, but my biological dad, who was in my life for a while, he passed when I was 10.
Oh man.
So the importance of just like not even, it doesn't have to be anything that's like exactly of what you maybe had, or even like for me, like what I used to have or what I thought I could have.
Yeah.
But like just having like an older man like look out for you and say, hey, like you're doing good. I want you to push hard.
That believes in you.
It's something different. It's like, especially for like someone, again, like I would say a man that's growing up in a world that's now. Because I think, obviously, and you know this, I feel like anybody knows this that watches the internet in any way, like mental health is starting to become just so big.
Yeah.
I'm a giant mental health freak. Like I care so much about that aspect of life. So I think as young men like gradually go through that, it's very important for, say, an older man that cares about a younger man to
It is, man. I
be
seen
there
a
to
quote
support.
where someone was saying that the only man in your life that wants to see you do better than him is your father, and it's just so true.
That's a dangerously accurate quote. Man.
Yeah.
So I was kind of doing my research, because I always like to do my research. And one thing I saw that I just want to get into, because I've never played this sport, but I need to know more about the sport to give it more respect.
Yeah.
This is nothing against the game of baseball.
Yeah.
I respect the sport. I don't think I know enough about the sport and even asked about it to kind of know the intensity and also just the specifics behind it. So like, how is your life with baseball? And also just, I don't know, tell me what someone that maybe doesn't know about it as much, like the intensities and the differences that are awesome. And
well, cool. So the thing that's crazy about baseball is, like, we're just talking about mental health. Like, baseball is 95% mental, man. It's also one of the hardest things to do. Like, hit a 100-mile-per-hour fastball.
You're hitting that in
no,
high school?
I mean we had some guys that were throwing it pretty good, but
80 something.
I mean, when
right?
you talk about the pros and all of that, I mean, it's one of the hardest things to do, and the mental aspect of it, like, you deal with so much failure in baseball.
Low percentage of hitting. Very low.
I mean, if you succeed 3 times out of 10, that's good.
A win. Yeah.
That's good. And the mental impact that has on you when you're not doing well, it kind of like clouds your whole life. And you have to learn how to deal with failure. You have to learn how to, have a short memory whenever you make a mistake.
Yeah.
Because if you blow that up, now that's all you're thinking about, and you're going to continue making mistakes. And so, I played baseball from 5 until I left high school.
I saw photos. Here's a photo.
It really the lessons that I learned with how to deal with failure and how to compete and, how to just kind of tame this mind battle that we're all going through. That's what I love about baseball.
And I can relate to that in a lot of ways because I did cross country and track. And I think I always like to tell people that do any other sport, it's like the sport I chose was your sport's punishment.
Dude,
in a way.
Yeah. I was always a short distance guy.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
As
like
baseball
to,
should be.
I didn't like to go further than a mile if I had to.
That is okay. I just completed my first triathlon. Here's a photo of me completing
That's
it.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, Marcia, that's right. Yeah. See, she'll find out so many interesting things about my life and just be like, really? From afar. She'll give me like a facial expression.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful photo of Marcia Ding. She's amazing. I always ding up a great ding photo of her. That's awesome. I think baseball is one of those things. I kind of forget that. Like baseball, and as Sports Center and as these highlight reels usually do, they show just the home runs. They show the incredibly catches and the throws to first base or the double plays, all that and above. But, I mean, I've been at enough baseball games. Luckily, I grew up with the Durham Bulls. Like, I love the Bulls. And I kind of forget that, like, that is really – and you have, like, I think another thing that I forget about baseball is an umpire gets things wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, well, aren't we now in a place where, like, the umpire can take back or, like, there's a review system?
We're getting there now,
That's not
though.
now?
Yeah, well, we're there. You can basically throw challenge flags
That's what I mean.
stuff now.
Yeah.
But umpires still, I mean, in terms of calling, like, balls and strikes, like, they still
question mark
can kind of,
get
like,
it wrong.
One of the worst, is it Angel Hernandez or whoever that umpire is, like, that everybody hates, like,
Like Ted Valentine for NC State.
Yeah. We'll call him out, but he's one of the most infamous umpires in the league because he's just like
He's a rude person. He stinks.
Yeah.
That was some bull crap. What you just
He's the enemy.
Yeah.
Enemy of the pitchers and the hitters.
That is funny.
Yeah.
One thing I really liked is that you I saw because one thing. Well, I'll say this. I mentioned earlier you have a great Instagram.
Thanks, man.
And another reason why I like your Instagram is because like it literally like. You haven't changed it. You haven't deleted photos from literally like when you were young.
Yeah.
So something just happened downstairs.
Something.
Did y'all catch that? Oh my gosh, that
Nice.
scared me just a little bit. I'm fine. Austin's fine.
Yeah.
That scared me.
Yeah, we're up here.
Just a little bit. Wow, that scared me. That threw me off. What was I saying? What was I just saying?
Talking about Instagram.
It'd be like that. Yes, Instagram.
Yeah.
I just love some of these photos that I keep seeing from like your high school because it was college sweetheart, not high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
The amazing Elise.
Yes.
The wifey.
Yeah, we met freshman year of college.
Wow, it was not high school.
Yeah.
Okay, got you, man. And I just love one thing that the game kind of pertains. The game we'll play later kind of pertains to I call it history in a Tukshell.
Okay.
Because Tucker. Thank you, Marcia. Just goes back into, like, I need you to give more explanation on a photo that I may have pulled from your Instagram.
Okay.
So we'll play that later. But I just love how, like I saw so many, like, football things and so many, you have so many different outfits on, like, Halloween.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. That was one of the fun parts of college and stuff. I was in a fraternity and she was in a sorority. So
at UNC Charlotte.
Yeah.
Respect to the 49ers. I promise you I was lying in the intro. Respect to the 49ers.
Yeah. Roll Niners, baby.
Yes. I want to ask about that, college life. So, obviously, music is starting to become like a lot bigger for you. I think, were you in college when I saw a photo of you performing Evening Muse when you were in college?
Yeah,
is that right?
So freshman year of college, I didn't really have much going on with music. I brought my guitar, but I was really just trying to, reintegrate myself and figure out who I was outside of an athlete. That was the first time in my life that I was no longer an athlete, and I brought my guitar and I played it and stuff in the dorm and all of that, but I hadn't started playing like shows yet. I played in the church, contemporary church band that we had in high school. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those go hard. You go to the right church. Right, Marcia?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this was like a smaller elevation type church, so I got to. That was my first kind of like stage experience, and
really?
I was like,
that was a good crowd though.
Wow. Yeah, it was.
Thank Lord, that's a good crowd.
Yeah.
When you go to because you've performed bars where it's just like, hey man, perform covers or something like.
Yeah.
Those are the tough ones. I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah, I played one before where it was just.
What you have to deal with? I know you both of y'all got because Marsha's a performer too. So
yeah.
What do you got? What have you gotten hit with?
There's some stories. One of the craziest shows though, and be the judge of crazy, but
okay.
It was literally
crazy,
it was in South End one random weeknight, I believe, and it was just me, the bartender, and my wife for 3 hours.
That's not that bad.
If you can play those shows, though,
you
can play in front of how many ever people you need to.
Yeah, which you've now done, which we'll get to. Like I saw some photos of you just singing. I mean, he sings the national anthem for like Charlotte FC game. He sang songs in front of Bridgestone Arena, Nashville Predators. Like, if y'all don't know here's photos of these giant venues. Like, I was like, oh shoot, like, that's okay. Like, and then I think one that you did I thought was really cool was you performed national anthem for like, was it a rodeo?
Yeah, the PBR. I got to do a lot of stuff with the PBR.
Dang, they sell out arenas like they are.
Yeah, we got to play at the World Finals in Arlington at the Cowboys Stadium last year. Pretty
the
epic.
World Finals,
the
PBR
World Finals.
The national anthem, or are you just performing
we performed before the rodeo
with
started.
The band.
Yeah,
man, we got photos.
Yeah.
Dang, that's sick. Before we take this first break, I want to just hear a little bit behind this story because I saw this man recently, and I'll kind of give you a short story of what happened with me, but you know a Panthers legend pretty well. From what I can tell, maybe not, I don't know. I need context, but
yeah.
Mr. Amazing Jonathan Stewart.
Absolutely.
Who, if you don't know, if you're not in you know who Jonathan. You know who Jonathan Stewart is.
It's a legend in this town.
But like I saw like you golf with him.
Yeah.
And he I saw him comment on a couple of your posts. Like yeah. So just tell as much as you can. I would just love to hear just how you met him and how that kind of came together.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. So, I mean, that's one of the big reasons I love golf so much. It brings people together.
Good? Or do you whoop his ass?
It just depends on the day.
You whoop his ass.
It depends on the day.
His ass.
Depends on the day. Depends on the hole.
What type of hole? So like, does he stink? Well, we're not going there. Did he stink at like par threes and you're like great at like par fives? Like,
he actually mashes the ball. I mean,
I'm not surprised.
He mashes the ball. Like when he hits the ball, dude, it flies.
Oh yeah. Running back. Yep. Bang.
But yeah, it's funny because we play in this local tournament. It's called the Bag Tour.
Okay.
Bag being an acronym for below average golfers. It's a really fun tour. It's flighted.
Not below average athlete.
No. Golfers. And
that's
so actually him, Jay Stu and Corey Lane play in it. Corey Lane is Chris Lane's drummer and brother.
Okay.
Also Charlotte legends. They went to UNC Charlotte and met him through the Bag Tour. And we met at a Trump National Golf Club last year for a tournament, and just through mutual people, he has a podcast and a golf show that he does called Tea Time Stew.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
What a name! I was like Tea Time Stew.
Yeah.
Or two. It was Tea Times with Stew.
Yes. Tea Times with Stew.
Okay.
Tea Time Stew.
Okay. Tea Times. Okay. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. Right. Now you're gonna make me have to figure it out.
No, we got it right.
Sorry, Jay Stu.
No, we're good. We got it.
But he reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to come play with him and be on the episode, and I did that. And dude, honestly, like he's such a down to earth guy, and both of our personalities just got along very well. We're both Arieses.
Nice. I'm a Libra.
Okay.
I'm not air sign. I'm opposite of you, but we would connect.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Aries and Libras are.
Yeah.
Like very nice to each other. Love each other because we're opposites.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you met Jonathan. And just to give you the idea of what happened to me recently, I thought this was so funny because, like, I think Jay Stu, He walked into Dick's Sporting Goods recently that I was at, and I saw him, and I was kind of in line about to buy something.
Yeah.
And I saw him from afar, and when you meet someone that you know, or even like someone that you think is who he is, you know, you think in your head, is that who I like? But I did that out loud. So like I don't know what came over me, but he walked in, he immediately saw me, and I was just like to him, like he saw me do this, like and immediately I think he knew that I needed to make sure that was answered, that was him. So he aimed at me, like just to walk to him. I think a Dick's Sporting employee came up to him and offered if he needed help, and then he came to me and just dapped me up. And all I said, I looked at him and then gave him a dap up and simply was like, "Thank you for everything you did as a Panther," and just walked away. Because I truly don't. A big rule of mine, because now that I've kind of been able to meet a lot of people through things like Tukr'D Out and So Far Sounds and just a bunch of things. I've met some higher end people, and I'm good at spotting these people. So when I do that, I'm very quiet when I meet them. Yeah. Because I'm not as much as they've contributed to like my life in certain ways. Because as we both are, we're giant Panther fans. Yeah. I try to be quiet. I was so quiet with him, and I just like, "Thank you," and I just kept, and he just went to go buy shoes or something, and I was just like,
you know,
I just met John.
To your point, like a lot of people don't realize, like when you meet people that you think are, you know, you have this idea of in your head of being up here or whatever, and you know this too by meeting a lot of cool people. It's like people just want to be treated like people. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be like
you can show appreciation.
Gooed at. Nope. You know, that's kind of weird.
Nope.
You know. Just like treat them like people, and like most of the time they're gonna appreciate that and be receptive and treat you like a
that's why
person.
This pod's gonna do well, because that's kind of what Tukr'D Out's built on. Like we're in Queen City grounds for like a reason. Like I kind of consider coffee shops like a place where it's like, I know we're in front of mics and we have lights, but it's like no, we're just in a coffee shop like just talking like and getting it on camera and learning about personality, and that's it. That's why it's like I wouldn't be surprised if I meet like a higher up musician. I'm talking like someone that's maybe has a Grammy or is on tour at like Bridgestone or I don't know. Yeah. And they're just like, hey, I'd be down for that. Just because I try not to put any pressure on these artists. It's like, let's just talk. Yeah. I remember that some of them, and as you even asked, it's like, do I need to bring like anything? And my first thought's like, no, you don't need to perform. That's not what it's about. I will show highlights of your performance. I just want to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. Jonathan Stewart, like, we love you. Come on the show, I guess, maybe.
No, we do, man. He's a cool guy.
Thank you to Sonorous Wave for powering this podcast. Sonorous Wave is an amazing music collective based here in Charlotte. Their slogan is artistry versus the algorithm, and they are so good at putting all events into a music setting, and they kill it. They are amazing with every event they are in association with, so check them out. All right, guys, we're going to go into this next segment. As y'all know, I love me some Spark. Seek Discomfort, Yes Theory. Love Yes Theory. Hopefully someday they'll sponsor me. Please. These are questions that I don't even know what the question's going to be, and we just have like a quick little convo about them and just learn about them. This one is there's a few different packs. This one is the Limitations or Perceptions edition.
Nice. Very perceptive.
I need that. I needed that today. It's very good quote. Here, you choose one out of these pile.
We'll go
and
top.
I'll do one. What do you think?
Am I asking you too?
No, it's both of us. So you ask and then we'll both answer.
Okay. What is a value of yours you want to follow no matter the circumstance?
Ooh. Do you have an answer?
Yeah.
I definitely have one.
Yeah.
I think a value of mine that I definitely am noticing that I'll never part with is if you ever have an ounce of envy or jealousy, make sure you turn it into like a compliment or an appreciation. Yeah. Like you allowed yourself to be in the presence of something that you look up to. Like that's really cool. Like to give an example, like in your presence, like you have great music out. Your voice is stunning. It's something that I'm learning to get. I'm a musician myself. Yep. I don't have it yet, but I choose to just be in awe and just like thankful that I'm able to hear your music and be swept off my feet in a very nice, casual way with your voice. I choose that. Yeah, and that's like a value I never want to Like I feel like I'm bad in life if I choose the other path of envy/jealousy.
And music is cool like that too, because like I think everybody goes through a phase as like an artist where you're like you compare yourself to others, but like everyone is it's good that everybody's good, you know?
Oh, it's fantastic.
You know, because like that just means that there's a lot of good art there, and
there's a lot to learn. Like, yeah. But what's your answer to that?
A value of mine that I follow, I think, you know, I'm very my faith is very important to me. It's guided me through some of the hardest times in my life and continues to guide me to this day. And so just all of the values that come along with that will be something that I try to hold myself not only accountable to, but that I try to live by, because I've seen it play out in my life and other people's lives for the better always. You know, like it's easy to be going through a bad time or be struggling and just sulk in it, but you
gotta
know,
give yourself a time limit on that.
Yeah, you know, you do, and you have to know that it's short-lived.
Pain is temporary. 10 minutes of crying. All right.
Exactly. You know, so it's only temporary, and you go through things in life that test you and prepare you, and so there's no bad things that happen in life. There's only lessons and blessings, and if you have that perspective, you'll be able to take the knowledge that you have learned from a particular situation and apply it down the road somewhere.
Austin will be hosting a class eventually. Look out for the details.
Yeah.
I kid. All right. Let's do one or two more. Let's see. I'll pick one this time. I'm going to do a little deeper in the North Carolina colored pack.
Yeah.
Name a moment when you were a child and you felt proud of yourself.
Oh, man.
We can start. We'll talk like high school and below. So like 12th grade below.
Yeah. I want to say the one that probably sticks out the most is when I hit my first home run as a kid, and my uncle was there.
Do you have the baseball still?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They found that thing.
They kept it. That was a very proud moment. Like that, along with the lines of like the first time I bench pressed 135. You know, it was a big moment.
We're gonna talk about your weight gains, dude. Here's a photo of this dude, Jack. Like this dude is massive.
Used to be.
Bull crap. Compared to me. Okay, wait, 135, and what age were you?
7th grade. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, 7th grade. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
That's not where I was at, but that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
What am I most proud of as a child? I mean, I did some very cool things with, like, cross country that I was really proud of. Like, trying to think. Well, okay, one thing that as people know, as I just said, I think one thing that I dealt with through high school and middle school, which was a lot, was my dad's passing. So I think, allowing myself to ask questions during that time of growing up without a father.
Yeah.
I remember being so proud of just like me not being afraid to like dive deep into that conversation instead of being like hurt by it and like traumatized by it. Like, I don't know. I was older. I was like 16.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, I know he died when I was 10, but like just when you're in high school, you're starting to understand things and puberty's hitting, so just a lot of things are happening. But like, I remember that was something that I just felt like I processed very well, and I still am processing. Like, I feel like I always will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, good for me for being curious without crazy judgment.
Yeah.
Because you can easily judge when you don't know the full story.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do cool, one man. More.
Yeah.
Pick away, my good sir.
Let's go in the middle.
Let's do it. Bang.
All right.
What we got? You first.
Do you feel overwhelmed when you think about your dreams? If so, why?
That's easy. Well, okay. I say that's an easy question because, like, for me, dreams legitimately, you have to cut out things that you're used to go after your dreams. Like things that are bad patterns that you may think are good patterns.
Yeah.
That has been my biggest obstacle.
Yeah.
To give an example, money. I'm not the richest human in the world. Not that I'm going to say anything else about my bank account. I'm not the richest. So that was a hurdle I had to get over. Like, okay, you have a passion. You have a passion for Tukr'D Out. You have a passion for music. Do not be afraid to throw some of your savings towards that passion. Like, that is what you that is why that is there. Like, it's not there to use it on things that you may think you need. Like, if you know you're going to have a good time, you know you're going to make that song, you know that you're making a difference, like, put the money towards that. And that was a hurdle I've definitely passed, but
that's the best investment, is investing into yourself.
Exactly.
And especially you get to the point where you can start doing things with it. I mean, that's return on the investment right there.
Yep. But it's definitely an overwhelming feeling. It's like, okay, is this worth it? Like, because you have to question it a lot, and you know that. Like, I feel like you've put a lot of effort into music, and I bet at that time when you didn't know if that was the exact path, that probably was like, is this it?
No, I think like to that point, you know, I think with your dreams and where you want to be, you're constantly analyzing yourself based off where you are and where you want to go. Yep. And for me, the overwhelming part is like, you know, I know where I am and I know where I want to go, and then like it's the in between of the time and the years that it takes to get there. That can be overwhelming, because like whenever I first kind of started doing this, before I got to do the cool things that I get to do now with music, you know, I was just trying to get my first show in a bar somewhere, more or less, you know, being on stage with Lainey Wilson at the Grand Ole Opry.
You hear that? Yeah, Marcia.
And,
crazy.
You know, like,
you're going to be there very soon, too. So.
The amount of work and time and effort that it takes to manifest your dreams, like, can be overwhelming, but you just got to take it a day at a time. And, you know, that Japanese rule, that 1% rule, just chip away at it one day at a time.
Just one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Stay with that.
Just stay at it. Don't quit, and stay in the right direction, and you'll eventually get there. But thinking about where you need to go versus where you are, you know, it can be overwhelming.
Very much so. All right. We good to go into this next segment? All right. So we're back. I believe an ad just went on. Thank you again for Queen City Grounds. If y'all don't know, they have some fantastic roasts, like dark chocolate caramel cherry.
Heck yeah.
Dang.
That sounds really good.
It does sound really good. Please check them out. Seriously.
Be good in some.
Gotta highlight them more. They're fantastic. Thank you, QCG. Literally the place for them. Okay, I want to teeter the conversation more to some stories in regards to music.
Yeah.
And I just want to go straight to something that I want to hear a version of, a quick version of how you got on stage with Lainey Wilson. If you don't know this queen, here she is. In the Grand Ole Opry. Like, just tell me how that came about.
Yeah.
And how you felt in the moment.
Yeah, dude. So I'd say late 2022 is when I really started taking my country project serious. I started recording my first EP.
Carolina,
yeah. Started recording my first EP, released that in January or February, and the streams from that EP immediately started doing better than my rock and roll band had done. Yeah, we're there, baby, and still got a long ways to go, but
we love the rock and roll band, by the way.
Yeah, we do. We had a good time.
Yes,
7 Day Haze.
Yes.
So I put the EP out, and I was on Instagram scrolling through one day, and I seen an ad for Tractor Supply emerging artist, and some.
Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of casual like that, and
Tractor
actually a couple
Supply.
friends had sent me the link to it too. They're
Tractor
like
Supply.
emerging artist program. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm not even gonna question. I had to break down what that meant
Life
for
out
me.
here. And so I was like, you know, what the heck? I'll submit a song for it and see what happens. And then I got an email that said I hadn't made it through to like the top 50, and then I got an email a couple weeks later that said, hey, we want to feature a clip of your song at the CMA Awards or CMT Awards, and can we do that? And I was like, heck yeah. So they put me on a commercial for that, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Do we have this commercial? Could I play it? I
think we can find it.
Dude, I'm going to try my best. If we can't, that's okay, but I'm going to try my best to find this.
I think we can find it.
Holy crap.
And then at this point, I'd made it to the top 10, and they were selecting 5 artists from across the country. I don't know how many thousands of artists applied for this, but I eventually got, I was one of the 5 artists that got selected. And so they flew us all out to Nashville. We got to stay on this really sick ranch outside of town for the week. And we filmed and did a piece. You can find all this stuff, too. We can put some clips up. We got to work with 5 different artists, okay? So
any popularity with these artists? Are they now big?
Yeah, well, so all of them, a part of the program, are still doing music, cutting music, and all of that stuff. And so my mentor, Dustin Lynch, selected me to
Dustin
to mentor.
Lynch? You mean like
Dustin Lynch?
Yeah,
I
like
Dustin
one of his songs.
Lynch.
What's that song he has with that girl? Crap.
Thinking About You?
Yes. Thinking About You. That's on fire.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm not okay, I love country. It's not like my favorite genre because I'm like a pop punk guy.
Yeah.
But that song, Dustin.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. Anyway.
Yeah. And Dustin Lynch was my mentor. And Lainey Wilson was kind of curating the whole program.
Okay.
And so part of us going out there, we got to play during CMA Fest week, make our CMA Fest debut.
Crazy.
We got to open up for Lainey at her private CMA Fest party that she did. And then we also got to record a song at Blackbird Studios, which is one of the most legendary studios
Literally
that
one
you
of the
could
most legendary.
possibly think
Taylor
about.
Swift, Brad Paisley.
Yeah, I mean, all these.
God.
So it was special doing that. And then, obviously, of course, playing at the Grand Ole Opry with Lainey Wilson. Sold out crowd, 16,000 people. Randy Travis was backstage. Carrie Underwood's backstage. Like, all these people are just back there who are just like legends. And,
I wouldn't be
now you're kind of just like mingling around with all of them. It's pretty crazy.
I'm from Salisbury.
Yeah. That's what's cool about country music, though, man. Like, no matter how big a lot of people are, everybody's so down to earth because most people are from like a podunk small town somewhere, and over time like created a really cool thing for themselves by playing the guitar and singing.
That's right.
And so that's what I like about country artists, man, and country music in general, and the stories that people tell with it and stuff.
I think my respect for country artists has gone up for a couple reasons. I think the imagery of the lyrics of country music is built differently than any other.
Yeah.
I think the way that country music describes love and just like stories about love are really, really specifically impressive. Mm-hmm. And then I've also noticed that like country music, it's like every genre of music is a community genre, but country music's community is legitimately like a hug. Like is a let's grab a drink and just catch up. Like, and that's awesome. Like,
it really is. Whenever I got into it too, man, like I really quickly realized that like how big the community for country music was.
Insane.
Like I started like having so many other different, Instagram accounts that support country music, start sharing my stuff and help promoting that. And
not surprised.
When I was, in my rock and roll band, like everybody loves rock and roll, but like it's very like kind of like cutthroat,
Be, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I was going to ask, just like, let's talk about like Carolina for a hot second, because that's a great EP. Here's the cover art ding. I really vibed with Chasing Highways?
Chasing Stages or Riding Highways?
No, sorry. I mixed them up. Chasing Stages is one I really liked. Your most popular, Magnolia, I also really liked.
Yeah.
Is that about Elise, by the way?
Yeah, it's about my wife.
I would think so. But how is that process? Well, I want to ask how your writing process goes with those. I think writing process, like the process is different with everybody. But like when you were writing Carolina, which is right now your standalone EP, I believe. Like, how did that all come together? Like, how did Magnolia come to you? Is it easy to write about your wife? Like,
yeah, man. I think so. For me, writing, like, especially in particular to that EP, I wanted to get back to my roots a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of get back to the things that made me, and write about my home and everything that shaped me to be who I am today. And so, from a writing perspective, lots of times for me, I just like, it starts with a melody on the guitar, like creating a scene, if you will, creating a vibe. And then I can tell a story over that. So if I start writing a melody, you know, on the guitar that I really like and I'm digging, it makes writing to it a lot easier. And sometimes, you know, there's a couple songs on that album that I wrote in like an hour or two. There's some songs that took,
Wish it
you
worked that
know,
way for me.
took months that you know, they're
That's
just
how it is for me
sitting
right
in the
now.
notes app and like you go back to them. But sometimes, you know, it's crazy. Like the ones that you finish quick, lots of times end up being the best ones.
Oh, they fire.
Yeah,
I agree.
So yeah, that was the whole process for me, man. I just that whole EP is just about getting back to my roots and kind of, you know, rediscovering my identity of who I am and
Nice, man.
realizing that I've been the same person all along.
Is there a topic that you found yourself having an easier time writing about? If that's maybe like your love for your wife, or maybe even just your roots to like what's the easiest thing for you?
For me, yeah.
Right now,
for me, it's easiest to write about my roots, the things that made me who I am today. Because like no matter who we are, no matter how old we get, you know, the years that we spent before we left home, right, are the ones that really truly shaped us into who we are today.
Darn right.
So it's easy to write about those stories. I really love writing with a sense of nostalgia, because when I listen to music, nostalgia is what really pulls me into it. It's like, wow, man, like, you know, when I hear something and it kind of brings me back and reminds me of something that, you know, happened in the past, like that's what's special about music.
I love that. What's your favorite venue in Charlotte to perform?
Ooh, my favorite venue, dude. It's gotta be Visual Light Theater.
Visual Light is so nice.
Yeah,
it's old school.
I mean, a close second to the Evening Muse, because that's legendary. But Visual Light, going back to that nostalgia, man.
Dude,
it's just,
it looks like an old movie theater.
Dude, yeah, man. They got a sick green room back there too.
They do. It's cute. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, man. I like it. My uncle has performed Visual Light a couple times, and I always like going there. It's literally like we have. I believe you know, like Lisa DeNovo.
Yeah.
Who does have you been a part of her songwriting?
Oh yeah. I did Rock Stars in the Round with her at Goldies.
Yeah. Respect to Lisa.
Oh yeah.
But she did. I was so mad to miss, but she did like a kind of a grand giant one at Visual Light.
Yeah.
Recently, and I was so angry to miss it. I was like, bro. Bro.
Yeah. Shameless plug. We'll be headlining that in September.
Yes.
Got some artists they're going to be playing too that I'm going to announce at a later date. Yeah.
Love that.
But it'll be my first headlining slot at the Viz, man. We're pumped about that.
Sweet. And that will be before this show comes out.
Yeah.
Or so meaning that show will happen
tickets
after this comes out, so you'll have time to buy the tickets, all that.
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask about you performing the national anthem at a few large sporting events, and just that's actually kind of a small dream of mine. Like, I wouldn't mind just like a lot of my friends being in the audience of like a Panther game, and I just show up and immediately belt the national anthem.
Yeah.
I have sang the national anthem before in front of my swim team. Marsha, I bet you didn't know that. I've sang the national anthem before. I killed it. There's a video on it. Here's a photo of me singing it. But yeah, just like tell me about how that came along. How did you want to start doing that? And obviously now you've done like some pretty large sporting events, not even sporting events, but just like the places like AT&T Stadium, Bank of America right down the road, Bridgestone Arena, which is near 19,000 people. Like, talk to me about how that kind of got started.
Yeah, man.
It's pretty badass too.
First and foremost, like I think anytime you get a chance to do the national anthem, it's like it's an honor. It's a special thing. Like, I mean, I love our country. I love, you know, being American, and that is one of the most American things that you can do.
Is it easy to sing? Like truly easy?
I don't think it's hard to sing, but it is one of the most nerve-wracking performances that you will have, because there's no like, oh, let me redo that real quick, you know. So I think for me, what I'm thinking of the whole time is just not forgetting a word or anything, and I never do. Obviously.
Okay, so you've never had like even a little bit of like like you look back on it.
Nah,
good. I'm proud of you.
No, you know that, and you know, we're gonna knock on wood. But yeah, no, and the thing is, it's like it is one of the most nerve-wracking things that you can do. But whenever you're doing a national anthem and performing it like that in front of a lot of people, performing in front of a lot of people in general, like it's just like shapes and stuff. You don't see faces and all of that. It is just like a mass of like shapes and a lot of people,
Yeah.
right? And so the more nerve-wracking things, it's like when you're playing in front of a more intimate audience, because you're basically like you're sitting there having a conversation with them versus just playing to people who you probably won't even ever see again.
Nope, that's true. I don't think about it that way. I'm a little nervous to get on stage, Austin. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not nervous to do MCing or Tukr'D Out. But I'm not gonna. I sing, but like, I'm still nervous. Marsha wants me to get over that fear. That's right, Marsha. Yeah, I'm getting there. But,
It's just reps. It's just reps.
I know it is.
Yeah.
It really is reps.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get better being on stage. I mean, like working on stage presence and things like that. You know, it's a constant.
Well, you have a stage presence. I'm a straight up say, just when you put those glasses on and you have one of those shirts that just is really bright, and I love you have such a good smile.
Thanks,
like,
man.
dang, people will easily just get drawn into his smile, like, period. Yeah, I just like I'm not. You are, in my opinion.
Thank
got
you,
an
brother.
Amazing stage.
I appreciate that.
It kind of reminds me of like Teddy Swims meets like, trying to think, who's like vibrant in country. I'm gonna say Lainey, honestly. Lainey or because Lainey always wears those like really sparkly.
You know what I used to always get in college? Everybody was like, "You know who you look like? Chance the Rapper."
I can.
But like,
what? Nah, you're lying to yourself. You kind of do though.
it's there a little bit.
Very healthy. He's a very handsome gentleman.
Yeah.
And he's one of the most talented people in the town.
Yeah, I always thought that, but like I from a face perspective, I don't know. I got more of a. My face is a little bit longer. His is a little bit wider. Yeah. So
We love you, Chance.
But I would get that all the time.
What do I look like? Do I look like anybody? Marsha, you can be real with me. What is there somebody in the celebrity world that I look like?
Travis Kelce.
Oh. Don't nod so quickly. That was
Killer
a little,
Trav.
Is there anybody? Who would you think? Marsha, you got anybody, or is it you just gonna accept Travis Kelce? Dang. All right.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I like Travis.
That's good.
I don't mind it. I was told at one point, I remember I got this in a grocery store. I'll never forget it. It's like, you got the face of Chris Hemsworth. I was like.
Yeah, I can see that. A little combination between the two.
I better say, you don't have to lie, but I'm just saying. I think I look okay. The beard, I cut it. A lot of product goes into this. I'm curious.
Great beard, by the way.
Well, do you take care of your facial hair?
Dude, I always told my wife, by the time I'm 30, my beard will fill in.
It is.
And
mostly.
I got one more year.
Yeah.
One more year. But like, dude, I've always had a really bad problem with like
It's that
the
connection.
end
You
of the
can't touch
mustache.
it.
Dude, I know.
Have
And
you not been
I
touching
blame my mother's side of the family because we have Native American in that blood, and on my father's side of the family, I got brothers, and their beards are just
massive,
immaculate.
Wow.
And I'm like, geez, man, like by the time I'm 30, my beard will be full.
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah.
You also, usually when you got a beard, I'm just going to straight up say the truth. You don't just have hair on your face. You got it everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a lot of chest hair.
I do. I don't know what my problem
know,
is. Maybe it's the Irish side.
I'm not mad about that though.
Good for you.
It's just less to maintain, I guess.
Good for you, Austin.
Yeah.
It's not me.
You know.
Okay, guys, we got 2 more amazing segments with this Tukr'D Out with Mr. Austin McNeill. The next segment is a segment I can't wait to go into because it's called History in a Tukshell. Thank you, Marshall. Add on that drum.
There it is.
And the whole goal is I got photos here.
All right.
That I need a little bit more explanation on.
Let's do it.
And you're going to give them to me.
All right.
So here we go. So I got them under.
Oh, he's hiding it down there.
I'm doing this seriously. Let's talk about, like, obviously we've kind of already talked about the baseball life.
Yeah.
But you look very serious, and then we're going to make them pop up here, the photos. But tell me about your thoughts before a game and just how you prepared to get to this point of, let's go.
Yeah. Usually it's like, you better not play like shit. Or you're gonna,
I need that.
You better not play like shit, or you're gonna be depressed. So that's why I said baseball's all mental, man.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you get the nerves before playing a game or something like that, and like you're standing on the line, national anthem's going. That's like a
You're singing too. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, singing and playing. Actually did that one time.
Did you? I was gonna say, did you do that in high
did
school?
that one time.
You did it in high school?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, man.
Man,
But yeah, dude, I think just trying to get trying to get your head right, trying to get your head clear and put your head in a good place to where you're confident. Because confidence is key with everything when you're trying to hit, make plays.
What's your pump up song?
Oh man,
Because they played
my
one.
walk up song.
Yeah, what was
had a
it?
couple walk up songs.
Okay. Can I guess?
Yeah.
You know when my brain just went? It went to Pour Some Sugar on Me. I don't know why.
Oh, that's a good one.
But it has nothing to do with like baseball. Like,
That's
it's
a
not,
good one.
Or
But
maybe
no,
Thunderstruck. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Thunderstruck?
So the two best that I ever had, one was Down with the Sickness.
Okay.
The that
Yeah.
part.
Okay.
The bum 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 bum. I'd be walking up to the
Yep.
plate, you know.
All right.
And then the other one that was cool, like chill, cool pump up vibes was Welcome to Jamrock.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like those.
Boom, boom, boom.
So did you did you guys have sayings? I remember one that was said at my college. I'll never forget. It was bake the pizza.
Yeah.
Did y'all have a weird saying that would be thrown out like during?
Oh man, yeah, baseball
remember any of
chatter.
them?
Oh yeah,
Just
dude.
one?
I'm still at the games, and it's hard for me to not like.
What do you
chatter.
say?
It's like, "Atta babe, come kid, let's go." What do you say now? Come kid.
Wait a minute. What would you just say?
What do you say right here now? Come kid.
All right.
Atta babe. You know, just baseball chatter, man. And that's just fun stuff.
It is such a different language. Like
Uh-huh.
I remember bake the pizza was big at my college. I was
Uh-huh.
like, what the fuck does that mean?
We call people, like, if your number was 11, probably call you Sticks.
Oh.
You know, just cool
like
stuff
that.
like that.
I like it. All right, let's keep going.
But kid and babe, like, atta babe, like, those are, yeah.
Let's talk about your gains.
Shoot.
Let's talk about
That guy.
Because you big.
Yeah, man.
And that's, I mean, come on.
Well, so I used to back in college.
You did not play.
I had time to go to the gym, like
Yes, you did.
sometimes twice a day. And I was actually, like, around that time, I was actually thinking about competing in physique competitions.
Really?
Yeah. But
Never got to it.
never got to it. Never fully committed to it. And over the years, you know, like I still work out and I'm still, you know, active
Still
and things like that.
fantastically handsome.
But I'm not as yoked as I used to be anymore by any means.
Well, music wasn't in the life fully yet.
Exactly,
That's,
exactly. I kind of, you know,
You
had
get paid
to,
in beers sometimes.
had
you
to
know,
make
yeah.
some adjustments. You can only allocate
married now.
yourself so far.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I look at that guy. I'm like, dude, he'd kick your ass right now.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Nah.
You're smarter than him. You
If
you do
my
some
old self's
crazy
hearing me
stuff.
right now, I'd still take you.
All right. I love that. Let's talk about. I want to actually do. Let's see if I can find. Okay. Let's talk about this lovely creature.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember the name.
Zeus.
Zeus. Dang it! I was there. You put it in a hashtag on one of the
Yeah.
posts. Zeus. Hello, Zeus. Zeus is still here.
Yes.
Talk to me about Zeus.
Yeah.
Who is that?
So that is my best.
That's a pity,
That's
right?
my best friend, Pitt, boxer
I love a
lab
pit.
mix.
I love a pit.
So funny story. This was like sophomore, junior year in college. We woke up one day. My wife was just like, "Let's go look at some puppies," and I was like,
Was
"Yeah."
that out of the blue?
It's random.
Okay.
Like, all right, yeah, we'll go look.
Sure, yeah.
Go
let's
look at
yeah.
some puppies. And
That's
so
never how it goes.
we went to the CMPD Animal Control, and they only had 2 puppies in there, and it was Zeus, and he had a twin brother in the same cage as him, and they were both like 6 to 8 weeks old.
Wow.
And opened the crate, opened that door, and the other puppy was kind of sitting there
Nothing
timid
with
and
you.
shaking.
Didn't do
And
nothing with
Zeus
you.
walks right out,
Yep. That's
looks
how it
at
be.
me, and hops up on my knee.
Yep.
And's like, pick me up. And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, you lost that.
Like,
battle.
I was
You
like,
lost.
You're coming home with me,
Yep.
buddy.
Yep.
And we
Lost.
took him into the little play area, and
You took the L.
Elise like fell in love with him. I fell in love with him, brought him home, and he, you know, my dad made this saying whenever I took him to meet my parents for the first time. He said, "You needed that dog more than he needed you." And dude, I can't tell you, like, people think, especially when you have a dog in college, like, people are like, why would you do that? You know, like, you know, dude, the amount of times that dog has just, like, helped me in ways that I can't even, like, explain, really. Just coming
Yeah.
home, I'm having a bad day or whatever,
Hug
and all
that
he
thing.
wants to do is just
Hug
see
it.
me and,
Yep.
you know, be with me, and, like, dude, it's the it's the best thing in my life, outside of my wife and things. And we don't have kids yet, but we also have another dog that we got a couple weeks after Zeus.
Okay.
And her name is Athena.
Okay.
And so those are our little
the kids right now.
little amigos, man.
All right. I got 2 more photos. We'll save that one for last. Let's talk about your style choices in life. Let's talk about this. Let's give a short story about this very handsome fella.
Heck yeah. Dude.
No judgment.
Dude.
Because I've been some things in Halloween.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Bar crawl. It was a bar crawl back when the epicenter was still going around.
Yep.
R.I.P.
I love how you
we missed that.
Bar crawl straight up.
Bar crawl.
That's
and
all
dude,
I needed to know.
that was the best costume I ever had because
I mean, you killed that look.
Bro, everybody kept coming up to me and like bowing down and saying Pharaoh.
Yep.
Like just random people. Because, I was like.
What did you do? Did you just react? And do you stay in character? I would hope you did.
Yeah, I kind of laugh, but I'd be like, I kind of play into it a little bit. I'd be like. Yes.
That's all you need to do. I love that.
Chosen.
Let's talk about our thing we have very much in common. Let's talk about your sport team love.
Come on.
Let's talk about a few things. Let's talk about how bad we felt in the past 4 years, but also how great we felt in the past as well.
Yeah.
It's been tough.
It has been tough, man. I think ever since, the end of the Cam era, it's been tough.
Hell?
You
It's
go from that.
And you keep having hope. You keep a new quarterback comes in, you're like, all right, let's see. Nope. And then they go to another team and do well. And you're just like, what the fuck is this? I mean, literally the with Baker and with Sam, you're just like, what's wrong with this here?
Well, and it's tough because obviously we're very much rebuilding right now.
No, we've been doing that for years, it feels like.
For years, yeah.
Go on.
And it's tough especially for quarterbacks to come in and try and I feel like learn a new system that isn't really established yet.
Nope.
And for Bryce too, man, usually typically, guys come in and they got a vet behind them that they sit behind and watch for a while. But nowadays, quarterbacks come in straight out of college and are expected to
it's
perform.
1 year. Did you see Anthony Richardson's stat? He literally came in. He only played one starting year at Florida.
Yeah.
And then immediately was a top 8 pick. Cam didn't go through that.
No.
Cam was at Auburn and Florida for 3 years plus.
Yeah, he even went to a JUCO. Yeah.
So that's I guess, and I feel like a rarity with what happened to Anthony. Luckily, Bryce had a couple years under his belt. But I'm happy now. I have hope.
I like the pick and Bryce. I think
I didn't like it at start. I didn't
like it at the start either.
I want a CJ.
I did too.
No offense, Bryce. We love you.
But we got Bryce, and obviously Bryce balled out at Bama, and a lot of people talk about
around him though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. He had a team around him, and
God.
That definitely helps. Helps quarterback, and hopefully Excel will be will ball out for us this year.
Well, we also Adam's amazing, and we actually I think one thing we needed. No offense, Mr. Tepper, but when he backed up just a little bit and gave a lot of the responsibilities to Canales and our general manager.
Yeah,
something's happening a little different. The end of last season,
there's identity in the locker room now.
Oh, I can. Yeah. And we're not playing around. And one thing, and you probably noticed this from last year, we didn't have any night games.
Yeah.
We had literally an overseas game in Germany. That was it. The rest was either a 4:00 game or a 1:00 game. I felt very insulted by that. I was like, what? So this year, I'm actually all right, I expect to have at least one Monday night game.
Yeah.
I expect to have at least one Thursday night.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Sunday because that's for the best. But, I think those excitements are going to come back.
Yeah, they are.
I feel that. Bryce's, that end of the season was fantastic.
They are, man.
Or it was a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we lost in the last, couple seconds of the game to three of the best teams in the league.
Eagles, Chiefs, who else?
Eagles, Chiefs, and the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
I was at the Bucks game.
We had those games in the bag.
I was at that
best
game.
teams in the league.
Crazy.
So those glimpses of light, I think we can, if we capitalize on what we were doing last year, man.
I think we will. It's just the defense. We were the lowest scoring defense in history, or highest scoring defense in history.
Yeah.
Our offense was actually did pretty good.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we threw 27 points at the Chiefs. We threw a good 30 something points on the Cardinals. Like these are good things.
Yeah.
And we stood toe to toe with the Eagles.
Yeah.
And could have won the game.
Could have won the game.
Anyway.
Could have won the game.
Panthers.
Yeah. Yeah.
We love the Panthers. It's just been a little hard.
Also just miss the culture and the identity that
God.
Cam and Jay Stu and TD
Greg Olson
had,
who's still here.
Yeah,
Luke
and Luke, like the culture in this city, like Charlotte changed when we were going through that time period. Like they put Charlotte on the map.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I know Jake Delhomme got us there once, but dude,
I remember that game.
I was at the Indianapolis game.
Were you?
For that year, 2015.
That year?
The one where we went to with Andrew Luck.
I was that dude. That's that game.
I know. Yeah, I saw that we went to the same one.
No way, and it started raining at the end.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
What a crazy game.
Yeah, it was.
So exciting.
It was. Do you remember where you were in 2004 whenever we lost to
Patriots?
The Patriots?
Yes, I was young. I was very young.
Me too.
I'm 25 now.
25, okay.
And I remember I wasn't a fan of the Panthers.
Yeah.
But my mom was.
Yeah.
And so we were at a friend's house with about 7-8 other families.
Yeah.
And we're losing our shit because we were in the Super Bowl. And then we lost, sadly. But the
field
excitement
goal.
of a
field goal.
Yeah.
Field goal. Very end of the game.
See, I don't remember it. The Denver loss hurts way more because I went through that whole season. Like I legit that was the first season where I watched every game. I watched all the press conferences. Like I was locked in. It was kind of like the NC State Final Four last year. I was locked into everything. Like everything.
That was such a blow to oh my gosh.
To life.
Dude, I didn't even think for 1 second that was going to be a game.
I thought we'd whoop them.
I thought it was going to be a
I thought we had
blowout.
Super Bowl 50 in the back. And then you know what happened, though? Apparently, Denver got to choose the and this is something apparently – I didn't know this. Cam said this on his podcast. But Denver got to choose the jerseys. I didn't know that. So apparently, one thing, we were when we wore white, we were the most confident. When we wore white, we weren't losing.
Yeah. And
I think someone knew that, within Denver – and they forced us to wear black. And the one game that we played black, or actually, we just don't play our best games in black.
Yeah.
And they made us wear black. And apparently that made the Carolina locker room did not like that.
What's your favorite jersey uniform that we have right now?
Easily I miss the color rush.
Yeah.
The all blue. I miss that
teal,
so much.
Just the
all black is nice though.
All black is
with
sick.
the helmets. Oh yeah. Dude. When we did that on Thursday night, I was like, why are we not doing that
again?
The
black helmets are
They're
fire.
so sexy.
Yeah.
I'm like, God.
Yeah.
We could talk Panthers forever.
Yeah, we'll
talk off camera. We're going to go into this last little segment. I like to call it a little bit of a honey roast, where I just give from me as a fan of the person that I'm interviewing, not the artist all the time, but I just want to give you your flowers from what I've noticed, but also just why I have you on the pod, and then I want to hear what you got coming up. But I think one big reason why I hit you up, first of all, I always love just hitting up just the local amazing talent straight up. But again, I remember our first phone call, and whenever I have a phone call and it's just like, dude, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, man?
It's so easy. I find it very easy to pitch Tukr'D Out, but when it's like a pitch that's more of just it doesn't feel like a pitch.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, tell me what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
I wasn't even thinking that you pitching it to me. I was just like, yeah, I'm having a conversation with a bro right now.
Exactly. That stuff is very powerful.
Yeah.
And I also I think one thing that we have to I personally just love seeing is a man not being afraid to show off the love of his life, and you do it very beautifully with Elise on Instagram. And I just give major respects to that, because not that people don't do that, but I don't know. I just find it's very beautiful when a man truly loves.
Yeah.
And stereotypically in our society, it's more of the woman that may do that in a stereotypical way.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that you're just nah, this is I love this woman. And you'll put paragraphs on these captions of just why, and I just simple things like that are just powerful to me. It's yes.
Yeah.
And I also just want to give you respect for I don't know, just being in the genre that you are in. I think ultimately, and this is just true to what I feel like we see, we do not often see a black country singer.
Yeah.
And I'm even if I see one, or just if I get to experience one, I'm like, all right, whatever, just another country singer.
Yeah.
But just the fact that you're thriving in this culture and people are just loving you and you're just as good as the best that are on the radio.
I
and
appreciate that, man.
It's just amazing. Like it's just showing that like the world is just changing and like there's just beauty and so much of just different cultures coming together and experiencing.
Yeah.
So I love that. I'm just like, yes.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to, you know, be kind of a black sheep and, you know, in a place that, you know, traditionally you don't see that a lot, but I think
it's accepted. It's
it
true.
is.
Like,
it is accepted.
I met Darius Rucker. I'm like, oh my God, like that might be the coolest human I've ever met. Like,
yeah, and dude, like honestly, like when I met Lainey, like I don't know why I was, you know, you meet someone who's like a superstar like that, you expect them to have somewhat of a complex, and like even Dustin too, and like dude, they're the most like
it's always wrong,
down to earth like humans, you know.
Yep.
If you met them and you didn't know what they were famous for, you probably wouldn't think that they were any different from, you know, you or I or anyone. And that's what's cool about the country scene, man.
Yes, sir. Is there anything coming up before we get off the pod that we should know about?
Yes. So obviously we've got Lovin' Life coming up. Excited to be a part of that this year.
This is a video of him performing it, but since this will be coming out after that.
Yeah.
All right.
We got that coming up.
Yes.
One of the biggest bucket list festivals that I've wanted to be a part of since I've been a musician has been Carolina Country Music Fest, and I get to make my debut. Myrtle Beach. Yeah, I get to make my debut on that this year. Rascal Flatts, Kid Rock.
Woo!
I mean,
name them.
Lainey's gonna be there. It's gonna be a good time. So I'm really excited about that. Got the Evening Muse coming up after Lovin' Life the following weekend. So this will be out after that as well.
Yep.
And then headlining Visualite Theater in September, man.
Love that. Let's
be
go.
sure to get your tickets to that. It's gonna be awesome.
I'll
want to pack the place out.
I'll put the link into the description.
Yeah. Got some new music coming out too, man. I got a couple songs a lot of songs that I've been working on that I need to get out, but one that I'm really excited about is this song called Same Ol'. And I actually submitted that in the 96.9 The Cat Country bracket.
Nice.
So they've been playing that acoustic version on the radio for a while, but we're wrapping it up in the studio right now. I think it's probably going to be one of the best songs I've released.
Love it. Well, dude, thank you so much for joining Tukr'D Out.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Of course, and thank you guys for watching and listening on Spotify.
Yeah.
We will see you next time.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Riding this old highway headed west to Tennessee. Just talked to my baby and she says she's missing me. As soon as I get home, I'll wrap you in these arms of mine. 'Cause life out on the road, no, it ain't for the weary kind.